Hello again. Karen of Karen Shier Coaching. Today, I want to talk as we move into the holiday season. Um, I want to talk to you about self love for the holidays. As we get closer through the holiday season and really any season of the year, we look forward to the experience of so many good things, such as the overall joy for the season and precious time with family and friends, wonderful foods, some of our favorite recipes, perhaps, finding and receiving just the right gifts, baking holiday cookies and other fun holiday traditions. We can also experience some of the not so fun things during these seasons, just like stress brought on by finances. We have time constraints, endless to-do list, planning and loading up the kids, traveling from one event to another. Sometimes we feel sadness or loneliness, and that list goes on, especially during these months of self-care. These months, our self-care routines seem to take a back seat because it's really difficult to find time to fit ourselves into the busyness of the season. So I implore you right now to take steps and prepare for the stresses of the season before they arrive. Stresses, I've been there too. Let me share my story with you. After my 17-year marriage ended, I was a single mom for 10 years. My daughter and I lived a couple of hours from our nearest relatives, so we were always traveling to one holiday event or another. Money was tight, gas prices were high, vacations were sparse, and I didn't have support. I didn't have support in the area. We were kind of down in Southwest Michigan by ourselves, and there was no one else to help pick up the pieces at that time. If my daughter was sick or whatever, that was on me to handle or to take work off or try to juggle everything. I was also in the mode of working long hours at my job, and I commuted to another city every day, so that added time. I was pursuing my master's degree, and as you can probably imagine, me time was pretty non-existent. It was really difficult to get to my daughter's school events or find as much time as I wanted to spend with her. And that brought me an enormous amount of guilt and sadness, and just felt like I was missing a lot of quality time with her. Things were always pulling me away. And when I was there, I was often a guilt-ridden, worried, stressed mess. If I was with her, I worried about work. If I was at work, I worried about her. I'm guessing you can probably maybe resonate a little bit. During these years, the first activities that seemed to get put on the back burner were my self-care activities, working out or just movement, reading and quiet time and walking and wandering in nature, which is something I love to do, listening to the birds singing, time out with my own girlfriends or just, family members, watching a movie. I used to love to go out to breakfast and just read a book. But all that stuff would get kind of pushed on the back burner because I couldn't find the time to do it. I was often exhausted and frustrated and had too many things on my to-do list. And even if I was able to sneak an activity in, I really wasn't present and my mind was worrying elsewhere. I was always somewhere else. I was that stereotypical type A personality, and I mistakenly wore my workaholic tendencies as a badge of honor. Can you relate to that? I'm sure my daughter and those around me could sense my low frequency energy vibrations, even though I did my best to put on a happy face and, a disguise, and I pretended everything was fine. Our kids are very intuitive little people, and our energies can be felt by everyone around us, even if we're putting on a happy face and saying, yep, no, I'm fine. Yeah, everybody can see through it. I knew self-care would help me, but couldn't seem to fit it in. Perhaps I could have weathered that long storm in a more empowering and healthy way. And if I would have regarded myself as important and made my self-care and self-love a priority instead of viewing it as a weakness, I would have been so much better, more present, happier, more giving to self, more relaxed. I would have been a better mom in those times and a better able to handle the stresses and the guilt and the fears I was feeling at that time instead of burying them so deeply. That's what I did, is I just buried it all. I didn't process out those energies because I didn't know I needed to do that. If I would have practiced more compassion and kindness for myself and set a few more boundaries and said no to others more often, to things that I really didn't want to do or it just didn't fill me up, perhaps I could have staved off the detrimental and almost fatal health concerns I experienced a few years ago after decades of chronic stress. Perhaps my relationships would have been better and deeper and more enjoyable, and I wouldn't have been tackling life as a lone wolf. I felt like I had to do it all. All my life, I found I was overgiving to others from my half full cup instead of filling them from the saucer, the overflow of my own full cup. I didn't fill myself first, and I was giving from what I didn't have to give, and it depleted me. Does any of my story resonate with you? Well, since then, I've learned to fill my cup first, not become depleted, and master my energy so that my lows are few and far between. I've learned how bad it can get when I fail to make self-care a non-negotiable priority. So, all that being said, just to share my story about how important self-care is, especially as we're going into the holiday season, I hope that you'll make it a priority. And I want to invite you to begin or restart a self-care routine now before the holidays get here. You are worthy. You're enough and you matter. Your self-care time is so very important, not only to you, but to everybody around you. Self-love is imperative to your health and well-being. And when you show up in your best self, everybody else will see that as well. You're going to show up not only for your best self, but for those around you as well. We do everything better when we fill ourselves first with love. So I hope you are okay with this reminder. I just want you to take note of that. I wish you the happiest of holidays and enjoy every moment that you can. If you ever need support, please reach out and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye for now. Take care. Happy holidays.